So I'm going to address Facebook here first, Facebook Live. This is the location at the Oswego Fire District building here on Woolley Road in Oswego. And this is where the League of Women Voters invited me to come tonight. So here I am with Congresswoman Underwood. We were supposed to have an in-person candidate forum right here at this location. And it's in the Oswego Public Safety Campus. And a little bit later, we're going to pan over there because you can see the Oswego Police Department right across the parking lot. But I want to get into this a little bit. So why was the forum canceled, right? So in person, pretty clear, the League of Women Voters reached out to me as your Republican nominee in U.S. Congress for the 14th Congressional District way back shortly after the primary ended. And they reached out to me and they said, hey, we would like to do one of our candidate forums with you and Congresswoman Underwood. And I said, great, that'd be great to have that forum, right? And they said, well, we want to do it by Zoom. And I said, no. And they kept coming back to me for a series of months. This actually went over several months. And I kept saying, no, the voters of the district deserve to be meeting with their representatives and the person who wants to represent them in person in a forum where you can see us both right there. You can hear the moderator in person. We can all be there together, right, in the 14th district. And so what happened was finally they said yes.
I'm voting smarter. I'm voting Marter.
Right. And we got a bunch of folks who actually were planning on coming out tonight anyway. So they're here, and we'll get to that too in a second. But they finally said yes, so they agreed with me we should have it in person. Congresswoman Underwood agreed, and so we've been planning this now for about a month, right? So they sent me a letter in the mail. I had to sign it and send it back, agree to all of their rules, which were very restrictive, by the way. In those rules and in the invite, you can see it on my Facebook page. I posted their rules. I posted the letter I was required to sign to even make this forum possible, and I posted the invite. The invite told me where to be, but it didn't tell me when. I think it was an oversight on their part. They forgot to tell us what time it was. So last Wednesday, October 2nd, I called them up. I'm like, hey, I'd like to know, what time am I supposed to show up for this candidate forum? And they're like, oh yeah, that's an oversight. You're supposed to be here at 6 o'clock. We're going to get set up 6:30. We're going to go live. I'm like, okay, great. What about the public? And they said, oh, the public's not invited. And I was like, kind of shocked. I'm like, the public's not invited? Really? Seriously? Not invited. How many people can I bring? You can bring 2 people. So my wife, Jill, was going to be one of them. My campaign manager, Krista Colasanti, was going to be the other one. So we're like, well, that's kind of weird, but okay. I agreed to the format, and I said, look, honestly, I said this. I actually said this to them in several emails. I said, I need Congresswoman Underwood to be present. I need the moderator to be present, and then I need at least 1 to 500, members of the public to be able to come and see it, right? So they gave us 2 each. That would have been 4, right? I guess I should have specified that the public needed to be invited. But at any rate, all is good, no problems. I shared it out just so people know about it, right? I shared the link to their page, the League of Women Voters Aurora, which is the only place you would have been able to watch it. So I shared that in the post, and I said, people, go to that thing and follow it, right? So over the weekend, we're out campaigning. I'm running around the district, and I find out Sunday morning, I get an email from Krista Colasanti here, and I get an email from her. She's like, hey, they canceled the in-person debate. I'm like, you're kidding me, right? You're joking. This is a joke, right? So no, they canceled it. They said it's off. It's off because the location is disclosed. And I'm like, go look at my post, because nowhere in any of those documents did it ever tell me the location was to be secret. Okay? It didn't tell me it was to be secret. I didn't know it was supposed to be secret, right? Now, I did find out because of a phone call that you weren't invited, that I could only bring 2 people. I did find that out, but I'm thinking, okay, that's weird, but we'll roll with it. So we want to make sure people are aware of this event. I think it would have been a great event to be in there with Congresswoman Underwood, the League of Women Voters, answering questions together in a format where the voters of the 14th district can see what's going on from both me. What do I stand for? What does she stand for? You're not going to get to see that, folks. So I challenged her to a series of 7 debates, and I'll get a little into this. So 7 debates. I asked her to show up with me at at the historic Ottawa debate site of the very first Lincoln-Douglas debate, right? 1858, August 21st, the site's there. It's a historic, beautiful park there, by the way. I've been down there many a times long ago with my scouts. We did bike rides down to there. Now, so we challenged her to that, and look, someone said 7. She's not going to accept 7. That wasn't the point. I said a series of 7 debates. Why? Because Lincoln-Douglas, what did they do? 7 debates. Of course, I don't know they teach that in school anymore, do they? But when I was in school, we learned 7 debates, Lincoln-Douglas. We have 7 counties in the 14th district. Lauren Underwood brags about her town halls, right? Her town halls that she does as Congresswoman, our Congresswoman, Lauren Underwood. But guess what? You have to sign up for them. You have to give them your phone number, your address, and when you show up, you have to give them your what? ID to get in. Imagine that. To see Congresswoman Underwood in person, you need an ID. By the way, I'm not going to do that to you when I'm your congressman, right? So we're not going to do that. We're not going to follow that path, right? You don't even need an ID to vote, right? So here we go. Congresswoman Underwood wants an ID for you to show up to speak to her as your representative in Washington, D.C., but she can't show up to an in-person debate, even where you're not invited, okay? That's what this is all about. I don't have any information that says Congresswoman Underwood was the one who really canceled it, but you tell me, in the comments on the feed here, you tell me, what do you think? Because I'm interested in that. So we do know that members of the Aurora League of Women Voters are also part of the Kendall County Democrat Party, amongst other Democrat Party members, right? We do know the League of Women Voters on their public website, the national organization, is pro-abortion, and you pretty much have to agree to be pro-abortion to be a member with them. I'm not saying they're gonna kick you out, but you pretty much have to do that. I know someone who's a Republican woman in Kendall County was approached about joining them, and she said, "Well, you guys are pro-abortion, right? Do I have to follow that plank?" And they kind of told her, "Yeah." Right? So this is what we're dealing with. I wanted to make sure we went live right here at the Oswego Fire Protection District building right behind me here. So I think we're going to do a little pan around so you can see the Oswego Police Department, which is right across the parking lot. No one should feel, I feel safer here than any place else in Oswego tonight, right? And we've got a bunch of MAGA Americans here. I guess we're all MAGA, right? Lauren Underwood calls me and half of her constituents a MAGA extremist, folks. This is, it's kind of, I sort of take that as a badge of honor, actually. But come on. Look, what does MAGA mean? Ronald Reagan's campaign theme when we had rampant, out-of-control inflation. The world was on fire. Iran had 444 of America's hostages. World War III was about to break out. Does any of this sound familiar about what's happening right now? So you have World War III about to break out in Israel with Hamas and over in Russia with the Ukraine war and everything else going on. And you have rampant inflation. Underwood voted for that rampant inflation. Remember the Inflation Reduction Act? That bill that spent $2 trillion to reduce inflation? You can't make this stuff up, folks. These are the kinds of things Lauren Underwood stands for. She is rabid pro-abortion. She also said she wants the abortion bill to be codified into federal law, which has no restrictions, no nothing, including the crazy stuff. You saw it, what Governor Walz did in Minnesota, right? What Governor Walz did. Put into law the fact that if there's a botched abortion, a baby's born alive, they're going to let it die. They let it happen. They're lying to you about that. They were lying about with the J.D. Vance debate. These are the things, this is how radical are. She is left of the squad, right? Left of the squad. And Conservative Review, it's not the only place you can see that she's left of the squad. Pick any federal scoring system. I just use Conservative Review. You will find out that if you're looking at a liberal scale, she'll be right of them on the liberal scale. If you're looking at a conservative scale, she's going to be left them. 2% on conservative review. AOC, Rashida Tlaib, Ilhan Omar, and Cori Bush all have 18 to 22 scores on conservative review right now. If you go look that up, Lauren Underwood has big fat 2. Right? Big F for all of them. But look, this is what it's about. It's about life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. And we're going to end the Facebook Live, but we're going to hang out here a while, have a little fun, maybe do some more videos for you. And there's also, well, one more thing I want to mention. There is a candidate forum tonight in Oswego at the Chamber of Commerce. I was there earlier. I'm going to head back over there. So if anyone's watching and you want to meet up with me and some of the folks here, head over to the Bauman Funeral Home out there on Route 34 in Oswego. It's only about a mile from where we're at today. But I wanted to make sure everyone knew the real story, because the fake news is going to lie through their teeth about this stuff to you, right? They will lie through their teeth about it. And it's one other thing on the fake news. Local article came out, talked about how I'm a MAGA extremist. That's all you. I mean, look, it's not really me they're pointing at. They're pointing at you guys, right? And the rest of the people in the district that are tired of rampant inflation, government spending, out of control Washington, D.C. They're tired of paying 33% more for their groceries, 21% and higher for fuel prices and gasoline and everything else that goes along with it. And your home heating costs. Healthcare, by the way, another issue. Lauren Underwood's lying to you. She says the average one of you, is there anyone here that actually knows this? So I'm going to ask a question. How many people out there saved $2,400 last year and each year since Lauren Underwood was elected? Or in the last 2 years, last 4 years, or last 6 years, because that's how long she served. She's telling the public that she saved you all, working class people, $2,400 a year on healthcare. I haven't found one person that saved that much, by the way. I haven't hardly found one person that saved any money. Healthcare costs are through the roof. They've doubled in the last several years, but since the passage of the Affordable Care Act, which is unaffordable, it's actually gone up way more than that. I'm going to be doing some videos about that in full detail, but I just wanted you to know, $2,400 a year, have you saved it? I would like to know. Message me, call my number, 815-585-8006. Send us a message on our website, and we're going to wrap it up here. But thank you to my MAGA extremists for coming out tonight and being here with me.
All right, Jim.
Come on.
That was great, Jim.
Medicare is going up after the election.
Is it?
Right.
I don't have insurance, can't afford it.
I can't afford it either. And that was